Today we're diving into one of the most infamous trades in NFL history, the Herschel Walker deal that shook the league on October 12, 1989. This wasn't just any trade, it was a seismic event that reshaped the NFL landscape and taught us valuable lessons about team building that still resonate today. The setup: picture this. It's 1989, and the Dallas Cowboys are in shambles. They've just finished a dismal 3-13 season, and their new owner, Jerry Jones, has brought in a brash college coach named Jimmy Johnson to turn things around. Meanwhile, the Minnesota Vikings are knocking on the door of greatness, believing they're just one player away from a Super Bowl run. Enter Herschel Walker, the Cowboys' star running back. Walker was a physical specimen, a combination of speed and power that had NFL defenses trembling. The Vikings saw him as the missing piece to their championship puzzle. The trade. On October 12, 1989, the Cowboys and Vikings pulled the trigger on what would become the largest trade in NFL history. Here's what went down. The Vikings received Herschel Walker, Dallas's third-round pick in 1990, Dallas's fifth-round pick in 1990, Dallas's 10th-round pick in 1990, Dallas's third-round pick in 91. The Cowboys received linebacker Jesse Solomon, linebacker David Howard, cornerback Isiak Holt, defensive end, Alex Stewart, Minnesota's first-round pick in 1990, Minnesota's second-round pick in 1990, Minnesota's sixth-round pick in 1990, Minnesota's first-round pick in 1991, Minnesota's second-round pick in 1991, Minnesota's second-round pick in 1992, Minnesota's third-round pick in 1992, Minnesota's first-round pick in 1993. That's right. 18 players and draft picks were involved in this mammoth deal. At first glance, it looked like the Vikings had struck gold. They got a superstar running back for what seemed like a bunch of role players and future picks. The Dallas media was in an uproar, convinced their team had been fleeced. The mastermind. But here's where it gets interesting. Jimmy Johnson, the Cowboys' new head coach, had a plan all along. He included a clever clause in the trade. If Dallas cut the players they received from Minnesota before a certain date, they'd get additional high-round draft picks. And that's exactly what Johnson intended to do. It was a stroke of genius. Johnson wasn't after the players. He wanted the draft picks. He knew that to rebuild the Cowboys, he needed young talent, and lots of it. The aftermath. The immediate results seemed to favor Minnesota. Walker had an explosive debut, returning a kickoff 51 yards and giving Vikings fans hope for a bright future. But that initial spark quickly faded. Walker never rushed for 1,000 yards in a season for the Vikings, and the team's Super Bowl dreams remained just that. Dreams. Meanwhile, in Dallas, Jimmy Johnson was working his magic. He used the bounty of draft picks to select players who would form the core of a dynasty. Emmitt Smith, who would go on to become the NFL's all-time leading rusher, Darren Woodson, a five-time Pro Bowler, Russell Maryland, a key piece of the Cowboys' defensive line. These players, along with others already on the team like Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin, would lead the Cowboys to 3 Super Bowl victories in the 1990s. The legacy. The Herschel Walker trade is now viewed as one of the most lopsided deals in sports history. It transformed the Cowboys from the worst team in the league to the team of the decade in just a few short years. But its impact goes beyond just the Cowboys and Vikings. This trade changed how NFL teams view draft picks. Before this, teams were more willing to trade away future picks for established stars. After seeing how the Cowboys built a dynasty through the draft, teams became much more protective of their picks. The trade also serves as a cautionary tale about mortgaging your future for short-term gains. The Vikings thought they were one player away from a championship, but they ended up setting their franchise back years. Conclusion: 25 years after the trade, Steve Jordan, a former Vikings player, reflected on its impact. "We were in a great position, just poised for a lot of success, and it all kind of came crumbling down. That trade set us back in a negative position for a number of years." On the flip side, for the Cowboys, it was the foundation of a dynasty. As Jimmy Johnson put it, "We've got to get better 2 or 3 years from now." And they did, in spectacular fashion. The Herschel Walker trade remains a fascinating case study in NFL history. It shows the power of long-term thinking, the value of draft picks, and the risks of going all in on a single player. It's a reminder that in the NFL, as in life, patience and planning often trump immediate gratification. So, the next time your favorite team is involved in a blockbuster trade, remember the Herschel Walker deal. Sometimes the team that appears to lose the trade today ends up winning big tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this look into NFL history, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And let us know in the comments, what do you think is the most lopsided trade in sports history?